Sevilla, Spain, what many people consider one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's got so much art and culture, beautiful architecture, and they serve some of the best food in Spain like gazpacho y sangria. Today, we're taking a culinary trip into Sevilla and recreating one of their best fish recipes. We're talking orange cod with sautéed spinach. This dish is known in Sevilla as bacalao a la naranja con espinacas, and let me tell you, it has so many amazing flavors. It's sweet and savory. It's absolutely delicious, but the best part is that it's so easy to make and it comes together in just 30 minutes. I'm going to begin by grabbing a piece of cod. This is 400 grams, which is about 14 ounces, and patting it dry with some paper towels. Now the cod I'm using, I bought frozen and thawed out just to make things easier and cheaper. And again, very important to pat it completely dry and remove any of that excess water in the fish. That way when you cook it, it's got a great texture and it absorbs all the flavors. I'm going to cut the piece of cod into 2 evenly sized fillets and add them into a shallow bowl. For the next step, I'm going to grab 1 large orange and get the juice out of the orange. I'm using a handheld juicer, but you can also use an electric juicer or even squeeze them by hand. Add the orange juice into the shallow bowl with the cod fillets. The orange juice doesn't have to completely cover those cod fillets, but make sure as you're adding it in there that it's coating the top of the fillets. I'm going to cover this with some saran wrap and add it into the fridge. While our cod fillets are marinating in that orange juice, let's get our spice mix ready. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika into a bowl. This is also known as pimentón de la vera. Half a teaspoon of cumin powder. Half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Half a teaspoon of onion powder. A 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt, and some freshly cracked black pepper. And I'm going to give this a quick mix until all the seasonings are evenly mixed together. After 15 minutes, I'm going to take the cod fillets out of the fridge and place them on a wire rack with a plate underneath. This is to help get rid of any of the excess orange juice. And I'm going to liberally sprinkle the spice mix into the cod fillets. You want to do this on both sides. Once the cod fillets are seasoned and they're releasing any of that excess orange juice, let's start making the sautéed spinach. I'm going to grab a large sauté pan, heat it with a medium heat, and add in a generous tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Now the olive oil I am using in this recipe is from Apollo Olive Oil. This is their Miller's Favorite organic extra virgin olive oil. Truly one of the best ones money can buy, and it really gives this dish that incredible pop of flavors. You'll find a link where you can get it in the description box below. After about 2 minutes, I'm going to add in 4 cloves of garlic that I roughly minced, and start mixing the garlic around with that extra virgin olive oil. We're only going to go between 20 to 30 seconds. You don't want to overcook that garlic. You want it to be nice and aromatic. Then I'm going to start adding some fresh spinach into the pan. I'm going to add in a total of 10 ounces, which is about 300 grams, and you want to add it in there in batches. That way it doesn't overflow out of the pan. And start mixing the spinach around. That way it easily wilts. Now the spinach I'm using is bagged spinach. This stuff is great because it's already pre-cleaned and pre-washed, but you can also use frozen spinach here. Just make sure it's fully thawed out and drain any of the liquid in it. Once all the spinach has been added into the pan and it's fully wilted, I'm going to season it with sea salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. I'm going to give it a quick mix. That way those seasonings are evenly mixed around. Turn off the heat and place a lid on the pan. That way the spinach stays warm. For the last step of the recipe, let's start frying up our cod fillets. I'm going to grab a large non-stick frying pan and heat it with a medium-high heat. Now, I'm not going to add any olive oil into the pan until we're ready to add the cod fillets. That way that olive oil doesn't lose any of its beautiful flavor. After about 3 minutes, I'm going to add in about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and add the cod fillets into the pan. After exactly 3 minutes, I'm going to gently flip the cod fillets to cook the other side. Now the thickness of these fillets is 1 inch, so 3 minutes per side is the ideal time. If your fillets are a little thinner, go between 2 to 2.5 minutes per side. After a total cooking time of 6 minutes, that's 3 minutes per side, these cod fillets should be perfectly cooked. You don't want to overcook them. I'm going to remove the pan from the heat and let's start plating our dish. I'm going to grab some of our sauteed spinach and garlic and add it into a serving dish. Place one of the cod fillets over the sauteed spinach and garnish it with a slice of orange. Check it out, our bacalao a la naranja con espinacas is done. Look at the beautiful presentation, so many great flavors. All I can say here is Viva Sevilla. Let's give this a try and see how it turned out. I'm telling you, the aromas in the kitchen are out of this world. Cannot wait to try this. Here we go. That is so good. Truly one of the best fish recipes I've ever tasted. That orange juice infused into the cod, which is perfectly cooked, mixed in with that cumin and that sweet smoked Spanish pepper. It's an explosion of goodness. It's sweet and savory. It's so good. And then that sauteed spinach with the garlic, he just rounds it off. You saw this, so easy to make. Comes together in about 30 minutes and the flavors are gonna blow you away. One of the best dishes from Sevilla, and in my opinion, one of the best fish recipes from Spain. Really quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, David Blom and Jim Owens. Again, guys, thank you so much for your support. You know how much I appreciate you. For the rest of you, if you're not with me on Patreon, consider becoming one. It helps with ingredients and equipment to continue making videos like this. You'll find my Patreon link in the description box below and iCard above. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Till the next time, hasta luego.